Chapter 1. Feed your brain or starve it. You want high performance. You want clarity. You want memory that works, focus that doesn't drift, a brain that's sharp years from now. But those goals won't happen by chance. They happen because you feed your brain, not because you let it go hungry. It's not about what's trendy, it's about discipline. Let me start with a foundation. Your brain is made of food. Literally. Up to 60% of the dry weight of your brain is fat, much of it in the form of omega-3 fatty acids like DHA, docosahexaenoic acid. When you starve your brain, feeding it sugar, processed junk, skipping nutrients, you rob yourself of the building blocks that keep neurons firing cleanly, keep synapses strong, and keep cognitive decline at bay. So let's be blunt. If you eat like garbage, your brain will act like garbage. It's all about what you put on your plate and when you eat it. Discipline feeds your brain. Starvation, nutrient starvation, drains it. Why this matters? Research shows diets rich in omega-3s, antioxidants, leafy greens, healthy fats, and low in ultra-processed sugars improve cognitive performance, attention, mental stamina, and protect against decline. For example, higher blood levels of DHA are associated with better memory, reasoning, larger brain volumes in older adults. On the flip side, processed food, high sugar diets, chronic overfeeding, fast carbs, all these promote inflammation, oxidative stress, insulin resistance. None of that is good for your brain. Key practical foods. What to eat. Oily fish. Salmon, mackerel, sardines, packed with DHA, EPA. These are the fats your brain actually uses. The science says DHA helps maintain neuronal integrity, reduces beta-amyloid accumulation, a marker for Alzheimer's. Make this non-negotiable. Include 1 to 2 servings per week nuts and seeds. Walnuts, flaxseed, chia, plant sources of omega-3 ALA, alpha-linolenic acid. Not as potent as fish DHA, but meaningful. Leafy greens and berries. Spinach, kale, wild blueberries, raspberries. These supply antioxidants, flavonoids, nutrients like lutein and vitamin K that slow cognitive decline. For example, studies show wild blueberries boost brain-derived neurotrophic factor, BDNF, and improve memory metrics in older adults. See chapter later for BDNF. Controlled sugar and refined carbs. You must limit high glycemic, ultra-processed foods. These spike insulin, create oxidative stress, reduce mental clarity. It's not about cutting out all carbs. It's about eating the right carbs, the disciplined way. Timing matters. When you eat. Feeding your brain isn't just what you eat, it's when you eat. Research into time-restricted eating and intermittent fasting shows promising results for brain health. For example, a review of intermittent fasting found it may enhance neuroplasticity, increase BDNF, improve metabolic flexibility, reduce inflammation. One study shows short-term fasts, under 24H, do not impair cognition and may allow the brain to switch to ketones for fuel, improving mental clarity. So if you believe skipping breakfast is harming you, that's the floor mindset. The discipline mindset is, use timed feeding to benefit your brain. Putting it into action, your 3-step routine. Step 1. Choose your brain fuel foods now. At next meal, include a portion of oily fish or a handful of walnuts or seeds. Add a colorful salad or leafy greens with berries. Use olive oil or flaxseed oil as healthy fat. Step 2. Remove the worst offenders. No sugar bomb breakfasts. No fast food gravy. Minimize refined carbs, sugary drinks, ultra-processed snacks. These damage your brain's wiring. It's not about deprivation, it's about discipline. Step 3. Schedule your eating window. Consider a 16:8 time-restricted model. For example, eating only between noon to 8 p.m. That supports metabolic switch, gives your brain a break, helps autophagy and neuronal repair. Always check with your doctor. This isn't for everyone. But for most healthy adults, short fasts can be safe and beneficial. Real-world example. Let's say you eat breakfast at 7 a.m., lunch at 12, snack at 3, dinner at 6, then another snack at 9. That's nearly 14 to 15 hours of eating. No break for your brain. Instead, shift. Skip or delay breakfast until noon, eat lunch and dinner. Include fish and greens, snack on nuts if needed. Your brain now gets the fuel it needs and the window for repair. Over weeks, you'll notice fewer mental fog days, sharper focus, better memory retrieval. You're feeding your brain with discipline, not starving it by habit. Why many people fail? Don't let this be you. People say, "I'll just take a supplement." That's the flaw mindset. Supplements cannot replace real food. The discipline is real food, quality fats, timing. People say, "I'll eat whatever I want. I'll just work out more later." Flaw. The discipline. Unprocessed real food plus healthy timing plus nutrient density. People believe, "I'm too busy to plan my meals." That's an excuse. Discipline means planning ahead. Meal prep fish and greens, carry nuts, skip sugar. Your brain depends on your choices. Troubleshooting. If you feel brain fog, check your plate. Are you fueling with fatty fish or just chips and coffee? Are you eating greens or empty carbs? Are you grazing all day with no structured window? Ask yourself, am I feeding or starving? Adjust accordingly. If you're unsure about fasting models, ease in. Start with 12 hours overnight, move to 14, then 16. Always hydrate, get enough protein, and monitor how you feel. And if you have health concerns, consult your doctor. Final challenge for this chapter. By tomorrow's end, identify one meal where you will swap a processed carb snack for a brain fuel item, fish or nuts plus greens plus berries. Then pick an eating window. You will stop eating by 8 p.m. and start again at noon. You will feed your brain for tomorrow. You will not starve it through neglect. Because discipline starts now. Feed your brain or starve it. Choose discipline. Fuel clarity. Build your brain strength one meal at a time. Chapter 2. Sleep your way to genius. Let's cut straight to the truth. If you think you can achieve peak mental performance while skimping on sleep, you're lying to yourself. You can eat right, exercise, meditate, and read all day, but without quality sleep, your brain will fail you. Sleep is the ultimate brain performance hack, the non-negotiable foundation for focus, memory, creativity, and decision-making. Top neuroscientists say sleep is when your brain rebuilds itself. Your neurons repair, synapses consolidate, memories are stored. You literally become smarter while you rest. Research shows that 7 to 9 hours of high-quality sleep every night is optimal for cognitive performance. Harvard Medical School reports that sleep deprivation impairs attention, working memory, long-term memory, and emotional regulation. When you don't sleep enough, your brain's prefrontal cortex, the command center for reasoning, decision-making, and problem-solving, doesn't function properly. In real terms, you'll make worse decisions, forget what you learned, and lose the focus that could have won you your next promotion or breakthrough. Here's the core principle. It's not about burning the candle at both ends. It's about respecting the rhythm your brain needs. Discipline is showing up every night for the 7 to 9 hours that fuel genius-level performance. Why sleep matters for your brain. Sleep is not passive downtime. It's active maintenance. During deep sleep, your brain removes toxic waste products, like beta amyloid, which is linked to Alzheimer's. Neuroscientists at the University of Rochester discovered that the glymphatic system clears waste only during sleep. That means if you skimp on rest, toxins accumulate. Repetition. It's not about late-night heroics. It's about protecting your neurons. Beyond cleaning house, sleep consolidates memory. Studies from the University of California, Berkeley show that both slow-wave sleep and REM sleep are crucial for transferring short-term memories to long-term storage. Your brain practices problem-solving while you dream. It's why chess grandmasters, musicians, and elite athletes prioritize sleep. They know that learning doesn't happen just during practice. It happens while the brain consolidates during rest. Sleep also strengthens emotional regulation. Lack of sleep amplifies the amygdala's activity, making you more reactive, stressed, and irrational. Your mental clarity suffers, and so does your life. It's not about being tough and skipping sleep. It's about training your mind with the discipline to rest. How to hack your circadian rhythm. Your circadian rhythm, the internal clock regulating sleep and wake cycles, can be optimized with simple yet powerful strategies. Consistent schedule. Go to bed and wake up at the same time every day, including weekends. Neuroscientist Matthew Walker emphasizes that irregular sleep schedules disrupt hormone balance, memory consolidation, and overall brain performance. Your discipline is your consistency. Darkness is your friend. Melatonin is your brain's natural sleep hormone. Light suppresses it. Keep your room dark, use blackout curtains, and avoid bright lights or screens at least 60 minutes before bed. It's about creating an environment where your brain can release melatonin and prepare for deep, restorative sleep. Temperature control. Lowering body temperature at night signals the brain to sleep. Research shows that cooler bedrooms improve deep sleep. Discipline means adjusting your environment, not expecting your brain to function in a sauna. Limit stimulants and alcohol. Caffeine blocks adenosine, the sleep-promoting chemical. Alcohol disrupts REM sleep, reducing memory consolidation. Pre-bed routine. Journaling, stretching, or reading can calm your mind. Meditation for 10 minutes before sleep reduces cortisol and primes your brain for optimal rest. Strategic napping, your secret weapon. Naps aren't just for toddlers. Top performers, from NASA pilots to elite athletes, use short naps to enhance learning, alertness, and reaction time. The ideal power nap is 20 to 30 minutes, enough to boost alertness without entering deep sleep and waking groggy. Longer naps of 90 minutes allow a full sleep cycle, including REM, which enhances creativity and memory. Discipline is knowing when to nap, how long, and using it strategically. The flaw is random, long, unplanned naps that fragment your night's sleep. The discipline is a structured approach to rest. Real-world example. Take Arianna Huffington, founder of the Huffington Post. She transformed her life after collapsing from exhaustion. Her wake-up call? Sleep isn't optional. Now, she emphasizes sleep as central to productivity and creativity. She doesn't just preach it, she lives it. No emails in bed, consistent bedtime, environment optimized for rest. She didn't achieve genius by working 24/7. She achieved it by respecting the power of disciplined sleep. Elite athletes follow similar patterns. NBA teams schedule naps for players between games. Musicians and writers report their best ideas emerge after deep sleep. The brain consolidates learning during rest. If you skip it, you're literally leaving potential on the table. Troubleshooting common sleep issues. Insomnia, often caused by stress and racing thoughts. Solution: a pre-bed routine, journaling, meditation, or breathing exercises. Discipline here is mental control, not medication reliance. Sleep fragmentation. Waking multiple times disrupts memory consolidation. Solution: reduce alcohol, manage room temperature, maintain darkness. Discipline is consistent action over excuses. Shift work or inconsistent schedule. Use light therapy, plan naps, and strict bedtime rituals to stabilize your rhythm. Discipline is planning. Flaw is assuming your brain will adapt on its own. Set a strict bedtime and wake-up schedule. No negotiation. Prepare your environment. Dark, cool, quiet, and screen-free. Avoid caffeine after 2 p.m. Include short strategic naps if necessary. Use a wind-down routine to signal your brain it's time to repair. If you skip sleep, your memory, focus, and cognitive function will deteriorate. If you commit to disciplined, structured sleep, your brain will thrive. Every hour of rest is a strategic investment in genius-level performance. Tonight, set a non-negotiable bedtime. Eliminate screens 60 minutes prior. Prepare your environment. Dark, cool, quiet. If possible, schedule a 20-minute nap tomorrow during peak mental fatigue. Chapter 3. Move to improve mind. If you think exercise is only for your body, you're failing your brain. Movement isn't just a tool to burn calories. It's the most powerful cognitive enhancer you can deploy daily. It grows your brain. It strengthens neural connections. It keeps memory sharp. Every step, every lift, every sprint strengthens your mind. Science confirms this. Physical activity increases brain-derived neurotrophic factor, or BDNF. Dr. John Ratey, in his book Spark, The Revolutionary New Science of Exercise and the Brain, explains that BDNF acts like fertilizer for your neurons. It strengthens synapses, encourages neurogenesis, and enhances learning and memory. Simply put, moving your body grows your brain. Why movement matters for cognition. Let's get blunt. A sedentary lifestyle is cognitive poison. Sitting for hours every day reduces BDNF, slows blood flow to the brain, and accelerates memory decline. Harvard Medical School reports that regular aerobic exercise improves attention, processing speed, and executive function. Studies show that older adults who walk regularly have a 35 to 40% lower risk of cognitive decline. Movement also combats inflammation. Chronic inflammation is a silent killer for your brain. Exercise lowers inflammatory markers, balances hormones, and protects neurons. Types of movement that enhance your brain. High-intensity interval training, HIIT, short bursts of maximum effort followed by recovery. Research indicates HIIT not only improves cardiovascular health, but also increases BDNF levels more efficiently than moderate-intensity steady-state cardio. Discipline here is pushing yourself during intervals, not coasting through light cardio. Resistance training. Lifting weights or using bodyweight exercises strengthens the brain by improving blood flow and supporting growth factors. A study published in the Journal of Applied Physiology found that older adults engaging in resistance training twice weekly improved executive function and memory scores significantly. It's not about looking like a bodybuilder. It's about signaling your brain to grow through physical stress, walking in nature. This is underrated. A 2015 study from Stanford University showed that walking in natural environments reduces rumination and decreases activity in the subgenual prefrontal cortex, a region linked to depression. Even 20 to 30 minutes a day in a park or green space can improve focus and creativity. It's all about connecting movement with environment for maximal cognitive benefit, consistency over intensity, Discipline is consistent movement. Daily walks, structured workouts, and functional activity compound over time, enhancing brain performance long-term. How movement affects neuroplasticity. Every time you exercise, your brain is remodeling itself. Neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to reorganize and form new connections, is enhanced by regular movement. BDNF is key here. More BDNF means better learning, better memory, and a sharper mind. Exercise literally makes your brain more adaptable, more resilient. It's about actively stimulating your brain through physical challenge. Resistance, intensity, variation. These are your tools. Discipline is consistent, structured movement. The flaw is sedentary habits. The discipline is walking, lifting, sprinting, and moving with intention. Real-world examples. Elite performers don't just train their bodies, they train their brains through movement. Richard Branson starts his day with a kitesurfing session or tennis match. He credits physical activity with maintaining mental clarity and energy for decision-making. Serena Williams and Novak Djokovic use structured resistance and interval training, understanding that a strong body supports peak cognitive performance under pressure. University students in a study conducted by the University of British Columbia improved memory recall by 20% after a single 20-minute aerobic session. The pattern is clear. Brains that move, remember better, think faster, and resist decline. Repeat. It's not about occasional movement. It's about daily discipline. Practical strategies to implement today. Step 1. Move daily. Walk at least 30 minutes, ideally in nature. Use stairs instead of elevators. Stand or stretch during work breaks. Small consistent movements add up. Step 2. Add agile 2 to 3 times per week. This could be 20 minutes of sprint intervals on a bike, treadmill, or outdoors. Push hard during intervals. Rest intentionally. Repeat. Discipline is intensity, not mere motion. Step 3. Include resistance training. 2 sessions per week using weights or bodyweight exercises. Squats, lunges, push-ups, pull-ups. Even modest resistance triggers neurogenesis. Step 4. Combine movement with mental challenge. Learn a new skill while moving. Practice footwork, coordination drills, or rhythmic patterns. Exercise plus mental engagement multiplies BDNF and brain growth. Step 5. Track progress. Use a journal or app to record workouts and mental state. Your brain thrives on challenge. Your neurons love stress in the form of controlled physical effort. The more you move, the more BDNF is released, the stronger your synapses, the better your memory, the sharper your focus. Overcoming common excuses. I don't have time. Flaw. Discipline is scheduling movement like any other high-priority task. Even 20 minutes counts. I hate gyms. Flaw. Discipline is walking, running, resistance bands, bodyweight exercises, or sports outside. Variety works. I'm too old out of shape. Daily movement ritual. Morning, 10 to 15-minute mobility or stretching routine. Signals your brain and body to activate. Midday, 20 to 30-minute walk, ideally outside, to enhance alertness. Afternoon or evening, agility or resistance session 2 to 3 times per week. Evening, light movement or stretching to aid recovery and sleep quality. Discipline equals habitual, structured movement. The flaw is sporadic, inconsistent activity. Today, commit to moving with intent. Walk outside for 30 minutes, add a short HIIT burst or bodyweight session, and track how your focus and energy respond. Repeat daily. This is not optional if you want a sharp mind. Discipline is your choice. Movement is your tool. Every neuron responds to your action, or lack of it. Move to improve your mind. Your body and brain are inseparable. Discipline builds both. Every step, every lift, every sprint grows your neurons, enhances memory, and increases your mental resilience. Chapter 4. The Focus Formula. Let's start with a truth that most people refuse to admit. You are addicted to distraction. Notifications ping. Emails pile up. Social media feeds scroll endlessly. Every beep and buzz hijacks your attention, fragmenting your mind and killing your productivity. Focus is a skill. Focus is a muscle. And like any muscle, if you don't train it, it atrophies. Cal Newport, author of Deep Work, emphasizes that the ability to concentrate intensely is a skill that must be cultivated and protected. He's right. Your brain thrives when you give it a single, unbroken task. It deteriorates when scattered across a dozen half-completed distractions. Identify the hidden distractions. Before you can master focus, you must recognize the enemies. Most are invisible. Digital distractions, smartphones, apps, email, social media. Harvard Business Review reports that interruptions cost the average worker over 2 hours of productive time per day. Each ping, each alert, rewires your brain to crave novelty, lowering your ability to sustain attention. Internal distractions, worry, multitasking, overthinking. Studies from the University of Michigan show that mind-wandering can occupy up to 50% of your waking hours. If your mind drifts to 10 different thoughts, focus collapses. The flaw is ignoring these impulses. The discipline is mindfulness, journaling, and scheduled mental resets. Environmental distractions, noise, clutter, interruptions from colleagues or family. Stanford research indicates open office workers experience more frequent distractions and lower cognitive performance. The flaw is accepting chaos. The discipline is controlling your environment, even if it's just noise-canceling headphones or a clean desk. The science of focus. Your brain's prefrontal cortex governs attention and decision-making. When it's constantly interrupted, neural efficiency drops. Dopamine spikes with novelty, giving the illusion of reward but eroding sustained attention. Research shows that focused work in 90 to 120-minute blocks mirrors natural ultradian rhythms. Attempting marathon sessions of scattered tasks is inefficient. Cognitive psychologist Anders Ericsson found that deliberate practice, intense, distraction-free focus, produces measurable improvement in skills and expertise. Discipline beats multitasking every single time. Proven techniques to train focus. Pomodoro technique. Work for 25 minutes, then take a 5-minute break. Repeat 4 times, then take a longer break. This method leverages your brain's natural attention span and rewards it with scheduled rest. The flaw is working without structure. The discipline is timing, intensity, and deliberate pause. Deep work sessions. Schedule 60 to 90-minute blocks for high-value, cognitively demanding tasks. Remove distractions. Turn off notifications. Close unrelated tabs. Newport calls this the ability to focus without distraction on a cognitively demanding task. Digital detox strategies. Limit social media, batch email, and enforce tech-free zones. Studies show that even short-term digital detox improves attention span, reduces stress, and enhances creativity. Environmental control. Clean workspace, quiet room, noise-canceling headphones. Research from the University of California, Irvine, shows that environmental control significantly improves cognitive performance and memory retention. Your environment either trains your brain or sabotages it. Discipline wins. Daily exercises to strengthen focus. Morning prime session. Identify your most important task. Work on it uninterrupted for 60 to 90 minutes. No email, no phone, no social media. This sets the mental tone for the day. Scheduled breaks. Every hour, stand, stretch, or walk. Dopamine recalibration helps sustain attention. Discipline isn't constant grind, it's structured rhythm. Weekly reflection. Identify the top distractions that stole your time. Implement mitigation strategies. Track your progress. Discipline is feedback in action. Real-world examples. Bill Gates reportedly reads for hours every day, isolating himself from interruptions to process complex information. He doesn't multitask. He focuses intensely. The flaw is thinking you can digest knowledge while scrolling your phone. The discipline is isolation and sustained concentration. Elon Musk structures his day in 5-minute blocks, assigning strict time for meetings, emails, and technical problem-solving. His mind doesn't wander because his environment and schedule enforce discipline. Writers and researchers using the Pomodoro technique report completing double the work in focus blocks than in traditional, scattered sessions. Evidence shows the brain retains more when attention is sustained. Repeat. Focus is practice. Practice builds skill. Skill builds genius. Common mistakes that destroy focus. Multitasking. Studies from Stanford show that multitaskers perform worse on cognitive tasks, have slower memory recall, and higher mental fatigue. The flaw is believing doing two things at once is productive. The discipline is single-tasking, constant checking of devices. Each check interrupts thought chains and decreases working memory efficiency. The discipline is scheduled checks and batch processing notifications, ignoring fatigue. Trying to push through mental exhaustion decreases performance. The discipline is strategic breaks, power naps, and timing your most demanding work for peak cognitive hours. Every distraction you eliminate, every block of deep work you commit to, every structured session you implement, your brain grows stronger. Step-by-step action plan for today. Identify your top 3 tasks for the day. Schedule 60 to 90-minute blocks for each high-priority task. Silence your phone, turn off notifications, close unnecessary tabs. Implement Pomodoro cycles for smaller or routine tasks. Take breaks intentionally, move, and hydrate. Review at the end of the day. What worked? What distracted you? Adjust tomorrow. Discipline equals execution. Flaw equals excuses. Final challenge for this chapter. Today, identify your biggest distraction and remove it. Schedule at least one uninterrupted deep work session of 60 minutes. Track your productivity, clarity, and mental stamina. Tomorrow, do it again, improving slightly each day. Train focus like a muscle. Your mind will resist at first. Resist back with discipline. Every session strengthens neurons. Every session strengthens your mental resilience. Focus is your most powerful weapon. Chapter 5. Stress is brain poison. Control it. Let's get straight to the point. Stress is not a badge of honor. Chronic stress is brain poison. It kills neurons. It shrinks the hippocampus, the part of your brain responsible for memory, learning, and emotional regulation. Harvard neuroscientist Dr. Robert Sapolsky warns that prolonged exposure to cortisol, the stress hormone, literally rewires your brain in ways that reduce cognitive performance and decision-making capacity. If you believe stress is inevitable, you're surrendering to a slow cognitive decline. The flaw is thinking, I'll just push through. The discipline is controlling your internal environment, training your nervous system to respond rather than react. CEOs, elite athletes, innovators, they know this. They don't thrive despite stress. They thrive because they manage it strategically. Why stress destroys your brain. Chronic stress elevates cortisol levels. Cortisol in short bursts is useful. It helps you respond to danger, focus, and act decisively. But prolonged cortisol exposure shrinks dendrites in the hippocampus, disrupts neural connections, and impairs memory formation. Studies in Nature Neuroscience show that stressed individuals have decreased hippocampal volume, impaired spatial memory, and reduced cognitive flexibility. Repeat, it's not about being busy, it's about protecting your neurons. Stress also amplifies inflammation. Chronic inflammatory signals accelerate neuronal damage, oxidative stress, and synaptic decay. If you're constantly under stress without relief, your brain literally deteriorates faster than your body ages. Recognizing hidden stress. Before you can control stress, you must identify it. Stress is not always obvious. Physical indicators: headaches, tension in shoulders and neck, jaw clenching. Your body talks, but too many people ignore it. The flaw is pretending pain isn't signaling a problem. The discipline is listening and responding. Mental indicators: racing thoughts, poor concentration, irritability, forgetfulness. Cortisol overload disrupts prefrontal cortex function. If your mind wanders under pressure, your brain is signaling distress. Respond with discipline, not denial. Behavioral indicators: overeating, procrastination, avoidance, substance use. These coping mechanisms are temporary relief, not solutions. Flaw. Discipline is structured interventions like meditation, breath work, and microbreaks. Proven strategies to neutralize stress. 1. Meditation. Multiple studies, including research published in JAMA Internal Medicine, show mindfulness meditation reduces cortisol levels, strengthens hippocampal connectivity, and improves attention. Daily 10 to 20 minutes of meditation enhances resilience, increases gray matter in areas associated with learning, memory, and emotional regulation. 2. Breath work. Controlled breathing activates the parasympathetic nervous system, the part responsible for calming the body. Techniques like box breathing, 4 seconds inhale, 4 hold, 4 exhale, 4 hold, or alternate nostril breathing lower heart rate and cortisol. Navy SEALs, elite athletes, and executives use breath control to regulate performance under pressure. Flaw is reacting impulsively. Discipline is regulating physiology. 3. Micro breaks. Short, intentional breaks throughout your day reduce mental fatigue and cortisol spikes. Even 2 to 5 minutes to stand, stretch, or step outside improves focus and mood. Research in Frontiers in Psychology confirms that microbreaks restore attentional capacity and prevent burnout. 4. Exercise as a stress buffer. Aerobic and resistance training reduce cortisol and increase endorphins. A 2018 review in Neuroscience and Biobehavioral Reviews confirms exercise protects hippocampal neurons and promotes BDNF release even under stress. Real-world examples. Satya Nadella, CEO of Microsoft, practices meditation and reflection daily to manage immense stress from corporate responsibilities. He reports that mindfulness allows him to make better decisions under pressure. Serena Williams uses breathwork and yoga in addition to intense physical training to maintain focus and emotional control during high-stakes competition. Richard Branson incorporates nature walks and regular downtime to reduce mental strain and maintain creativity. He acknowledges that unmanaged stress cripples problem-solving capacity. Step-by-step daily stress control routine. Morning meditation, 10 minutes sit in silence, focus on your breath, or use a guided mindfulness app. Prepare your nervous system for the day. Microbreaks during work. Every hour, stand, stretch, or walk for 2 to 5 minutes. This resets cortisol spikes and improves attention. Control breathing sessions. 2 to 3 times per day use box breathing or diaphragmatic breathing, especially before high-pressure tasks. Physical movement. Incorporate aerobic exercise or resistance training to reduce stress hormones and release BDNF. Evening reflection. Journal or review your day, noting stress triggers and your response. Adjust tomorrow's strategies accordingly. Discipline is non-negotiable. Flaw is hope that stress will resolve itself. Overcoming common excuses. I don't have time to meditate. Flaw. Discipline is 10 to 15 minutes, less than your average social media scroll. Results compound over weeks. I'm too busy to exercise. Flaw. Even 20 minutes strategically applied protects your neurons. Discipline is prioritizing neural longevity. Stress is unavoidable. Flaw. Discipline is using proven techniques, breathwork, micro-breaks, meditation, to reduce its impact. Your brain thrives when you manage stress. It deteriorates when you ignore it. Every cortisol spike you neutralize is a neuron saved. Every moment of discipline compounds over months, years, decades. Final challenge for this chapter. Today, commit to controlling your stress. Schedule 10 minutes for meditation, 2 microbreaks during work, and 1 focused breathwork session. Track your mental clarity, mood, and focus. Tomorrow, repeat. Over time, chronic stress will lose its grip. Your neurons will thrive. Your hippocampus will strengthen. Your cognitive performance will soar. Stress is brain poison, but control is power. Discipline beats chaos. Meditation, breathwork, microbreaks, and exercise are not luxuries. They are survival tools for your mind. The more you practice, the sharper your memory, the faster your thinking, the more resilient your brain. It's not about coping, it's about conquering. Chapter 6. Learn, unlearn, relearn. If you want a sharp mind, there's one brutal truth you must accept. Knowledge alone is worthless if it's not applied, challenged, and updated. The ability to learn, unlearn, and relearn is the hallmark of mental agility, innovation, and high cognitive performance. The flaw is thinking that your current knowledge or habits are sufficient. The discipline is embracing a system of continuous mental evolution. Every neuron counts, every connection matters, and every habit of the mind shapes your cognitive destiny. Peter Drucker famously said, "The most important skill in an economy of rapid change is the ability to learn faster than your competitors." The message is clear. Static knowledge is obsolete knowledge. Your brain must be in a constant state of growth, pruning what's outdated and reinforcing what works. Why unlearning is as critical as learning. Your brain's default is to resist change. Neural pathways form habits. Habits create comfort zones. Comfort zones create rigidity. When you cling to outdated strategies, beliefs, or skills, your brain becomes brittle. Neuroscientist Dr. Michael Merzenich, known as the father of neuroplasticity, demonstrates that neural circuits are constantly rewired through experience, practice, and challenge. For example, professionals stuck in old problem-solving methods fail to innovate. They rely on memorized patterns rather than adaptive thinking. When you unlearn, you actively prune old synaptic connections, making room for new pathways. Your brain becomes flexible, resilient, and capable of handling complexity. The science of deliberate practice. Deliberate practice is the cornerstone of learning. Anders Ericsson's research, presented in Peak, Secrets from the New Science of Expertise, shows that the quality, not quantity, of practice shapes skill acquisition. Chunk learning, spaced repetition, and real-world application are proven strategies. 1. Chunk learning. Break complex information into small, digestible units. This method reduces cognitive overload and enhances retention. For example, instead of trying to memorize a 500-page textbook in a week, divide it into focus sections and master each. 2. Spaced repetition. Instead of cramming, review material at increasing intervals over time. Cognitive scientists at the University of California have demonstrated that spaced repetition strengthens long-term memory and reinforces neural pathways. 3. Real-world application. Knowledge sticks only when applied. Reading about leadership is insufficient. Leading a small team, analyzing outcomes, and iterating practices rewires your neural circuits. Similarly, learning a new language requires speaking, writing, and interacting, not passive reading. Tools and techniques for mental agility. Daily learning habit. Dedicate 30 to 60 minutes each day to new knowledge, skill acquisition, or problem solving. It could be reading, online courses, or practicing a craft. Discipline is showing up consistently. Flaw is waiting for motivation. Journaling for reflection. Writing forces your brain to consolidate and process information. Note what you learned, what you unlearned, and what requires further adaptation. Harvard researchers find reflection improves comprehension and neural integration. Teach what you learn. Explaining concepts to others reinforces memory and clarifies understanding. The Feynman technique emphasizes that if you can't teach it simply, you don't understand it. Discipline equals mastery. Flaw equals passive consumption. Challenge assumptions. Identify outdated beliefs in your personal or professional life. Test them against evidence and adjust accordingly. Mental flexibility is reinforced when you question deeply and act deliberately. Diversify learning. Cross-disciplinary learning, combining art, science, philosophy, and technology, strengthens cognitive networks and fosters creativity. Nobel laureates often cite cross-domain exposure as critical for innovation. Repeat. It's not about sticking to comfort zones. It's about disciplined exploration. Real-world examples. Elon Musk constantly learns across domains, from rocket science to AI, energy, and automotive engineering. He applies the learn, unlearn, relearn principle to stay ahead of rapidly changing industries. Musk doesn't rely on static knowledge. He actively challenges assumptions and iterates understanding. Bill Gates reads extensively and revisits assumptions about global health, technology, and business. Gates credits iterative learning for decision-making and strategic foresight. Professional musicians don't just rehearse old pieces. They explore new techniques, experiment, and unlearn habitual errors. The brain's plasticity is enhanced through this disciplined practice. Overcoming learning plateaus. Flaw. Believing repetition alone equals mastery. Discipline. Combine repetition with challenge and reflection. Push beyond comfort. Flaw. Ignoring feedback. Discipline. Seek mentors, critique, and measurable results. Feedback rewires the brain faster than blind practice. Your mental agility depends on this cycle. Learn, unlearn, relearn. Static brains stagnate. Adaptive brains dominate. Your neurons respond to disciplined practice, not passive consumption. Every day you delay is a day of neural opportunity lost. Step-by-step action plan. Identify one skill or knowledge area you want to improve. Break it into manageable chunks. Schedule focus sessions to master each. Apply spaced repetition. Review yesterday's chunk before moving to new material. Implement real-world application. Practice, experiment, or teach what you learned. Reflect daily. What worked? What needs unlearning? What's next? Final challenge for this chapter. Today, Commit to learning something new with intent. Identify one outdated belief or method and unlearn it. Apply the knowledge in a practical scenario. Reflect and repeat tomorrow. Your brain will rewire itself. Your memory will strengthen. Your cognitive flexibility will expand. This is not optional. It's disciplined neural evolution. Every neuron you challenge today becomes an asset tomorrow. Learning, unlearning, and relearning is the single most powerful tool for mental longevity. Discipline builds agile, adaptive brains. Flaw builds rigidity. Repetition, review, real-world application, and deliberate practice are your weapons. Your brain is capable of far more than you imagine, but only if you commit to disciplined evolution. Chapter 7. Social Connections Boost IQ. If you think your brain functions in isolation, think again. Your mind does not thrive in a vacuum. Social connections are not optional. They are fundamental to cognitive longevity, memory retention, and mental agility. The flaw is believing intelligence is purely individual. The discipline is cultivating meaningful relationships, mentorship, and collaborative problem-solving. Neuroscience proves this. Humans are wired for connection, and isolation is toxic to your neurons. Research from Harvard's study of adult development, one of the longest-running studies on human health, shows that the quality of relationships is a stronger predictor of long-term mental health than wealth, IQ, or fame. People with strong social ties are not only happier, they maintain sharper cognitive function well into old age. Why relationships are cognitive protection. Loneliness and isolation are more than uncomfortable. They are physically harmful. Chronic social isolation raises cortisol, triggers inflammation, and accelerates hippocampal shrinkage, all of which impair memory and executive function. A 2015 study published in PNAS found that socially isolated older adults had a 50% higher risk of cognitive decline. Social engagement exercises multiple cognitive functions simultaneously. When you converse, you process language, read emotional cues, recall memories, and anticipate responses. Collaboration requires problem-solving, creativity, and perspective-taking. Every interaction is a workout for your prefrontal cortex and hippocampus. Discipline equals consistent engagement. Flaw equals avoidance or passive consumption of social media instead of real interactions. Mechanisms at work. Cognitive stimulation. Deep, meaningful conversations activate neural networks and improve reasoning. Studies at the University of Michigan show that older adults who engage in daily dialogue perform better on memory and attention tests, emotional regulation. Relationships teach empathy, patience, and conflict resolution. These skills enhance executive function, improving decision-making and stress management. Research in psychological science links high emotional intelligence to stronger frontal lobe function and better cognitive flexibility. Neurochemical benefits. Oxytocin, dopamine, and serotonin surge during positive social interactions. Oxytocin reduces stress and inflammation, protecting neurons. Dopamine reinforces learning and motivation. Practical ways to leverage social connections. 1. Engage in meaningful conversation. One-on-one discussions, debate, and intellectual exchange stimulate the brain. Set aside time each week to discuss ideas with peers, mentors, or family. Ask challenging questions, listen actively, and reflect. 2. Seek mentorship. Learning from someone more experienced accelerates knowledge acquisition, cognitive processing, and problem-solving. Mentorship strengthens neural pathways associated with memory, planning, and abstract thinking. Harvard Business School emphasizes that high-performing professionals prioritize mentorship to maintain adaptive thinking under pressure. 3. Collaborative problem solving. Work on projects, puzzles, or strategic games with others. Group engagement requires memory recall, multi-step planning, and perspective-taking. Studies on cooperative learning in adults show that collaboration enhances executive function and retention. 4. Volunteer and community engagement. Helping others stimulates cognitive, emotional, and social faculties simultaneously. Research in the journals of gerontology indicates that volunteering reduces cognitive decline by providing purposeful social interactions and cognitive challenge. 5. Limit passive social media consumption. Passive scrolling does not stimulate cognition. It fragments attention and increases stress. The discipline is intentional engagement, not virtual distraction. Why? Real-world examples. Richard Branson surrounds himself with advisors, collaborators, and mentors across industries. Branson credits his expansive network with keeping his thinking agile and his decisions innovative. Bill Gates regularly participates in intellectual discussions with experts outside his field. He maintains mental flexibility and cognitive sharpness through structured social engagement. Elderly populations. A landmark 2010 study in PLOS Medicine found that seniors with high levels of social engagement showed delayed cognitive decline and maintained problem-solving ability, even with age-related brain changes. Daily practices for brain-strengthening social connections. Schedule deep conversation sessions. At least 2 to 3 times per week. Dedicate 30 to 60 minutes to meaningful interaction with a peer, mentor, or family member. Discuss ideas, challenge each other, and reflect. Join a learning or interest group. Book clubs, coding groups, or hobby circles create cognitive stimulation while fostering connection. Mentorship cycles. Both being a mentor and mentee engages multiple neural systems. Teach, listen, and apply lessons actively. Collaborative projects. Engage in team-based challenges or strategy games weekly to train executive function. Reflection journal. After social engagement, write down insights, learnings, and emotional cues observed. Consolidate memory and reinforce pathways. Overcoming excuses. I'm too busy to connect. Flaw. Discipline is scheduling meaningful interactions as high-priority tasks. Even 15 minutes counts. I'm introverted. Flaw. Discipline is selective engagement with deep, purposeful interactions rather than avoiding all social connection. Social media is enough. Final challenge for this chapter. Today, reach out to one person for a meaningful conversation. No distractions, no multitasking. Seek a mentor or provide guidance to someone in your network. Join a collaborative project, brainstorm, or solve a problem together. Track how this engagement impacts your focus, memory, and emotional clarity. Every neuron you activate through connection strengthens your mental resilience, intelligence, and long-term brain health. Social connections are not luxury, they are survival. Isolation accelerates cognitive decline. Meaningful engagement protects your neurons and sharpens your mind. Discipline in building, maintaining, and nurturing relationships directly translates to a sharper, more resilient brain. Your IQ, memory, and cognitive longevity are amplified through the people you engage with. Chapter 8. Digital Diet. Reclaim your brain. Let's get blunt. Your brain is addicted, and the culprit is digital overload. Every notification, every endless scroll, every app ping hijacks your attention, rewires your neural pathways, and erodes focus. Research from the University of California, Irvine, shows that it takes an average of 23 minutes to regain focus after a digital interruption. 23 minutes. Multiply that by the dozens of pings you experience daily, and your brain is constantly under siege. Why digital overload destroys your brain. Fragmented attention. Constant alerts and tabs reduce sustained focus. Cognitive scientists from Stanford found that frequent multitaskers perform worse on attention-switching tasks and have lower working memory capacity. The flaw is thinking your brain can handle multiple streams of information simultaneously. The discipline is focus on one task at a time, reduce creativity. The prefrontal cortex, responsible for problem-solving and innovation, atrophies under constant digital stimulation. Neuroscientist Dr. Earl Miller explains that novelty craving via screens decreases the brain's ability to engage in deep, imaginative thinking. Sleep disruption. Blue light from screens suppresses melatonin, delaying sleep onset and reducing REM cycles. Harvard Health studies confirm that late-night screen use leads to cognitive fatigue, impaired memory consolidation, and reduced mental agility, decision fatigue, endless notifications, emails, and app prompts overload executive function. Your brain tires faster, and judgment becomes impaired. The flaw is reacting to every ping. The discipline is selective attention and intentional task management. Proven strategies for a digital diet. 1. Batch digital tasks. Instead of responding to emails or messages as they arrive, schedule specific blocks during the day for communication. Research by Gloria Mark at UC Irvine indicates batching significantly reduces mental switching costs and restores focus. Discipline is planning your digital consumption. Flaw is responding impulsively. 2. Schedule offline hours. Allocate at least 2 to 3 hours per day to completely disconnect from screens. This could be mornings for deep work, evenings for reflection, or weekends for creativity. Cal Newport, author of Digital Minimalism, stresses that intentional digital sabbaticals restore attention, enhance creativity, and improve cognitive control. 3. Notifications audit. Turn off all non-essential alerts. Every ping is a brain hijacker, flooding your system with dopamine and fragmenting attention. Your neurons are designed for depth, not distraction. 4. Use Do Not Disturb mode strategically. Smartphones, tablets, and computers all have built-in tools to block digital intrusion. Activate them during focused work, meetings, or personal time. Neuroscience shows that uninterrupted work allows prefrontal cortex efficiency and memory consolidation. 5. Replace passive scrolling with active engagement. Read, write, or problem-solve instead of endlessly browsing. Cognitive benefits are maximized when you actively process information rather than consume passively. Real-world examples. Bill Gates, known for his Think Weeks, where he isolates himself from emails and meetings to read, reflect, and strategize. Gates credits these retreats for long-term innovation and cognitive clarity. Elon Musk blocks specific times for communication, reducing digital interruptions to maintain focus on complex engineering and business problems. Musk's productivity is not random. It's disciplined. Top-performing CEOs and creatives. Many implement digital detox routines, batching messages, turning off notifications, and allocating screen-free periods. Studies in Frontiers in Psychology show that such practices improve memory, focus, and creativity. Daily practices for a digital diet. Morning deep work. Start your day with 60 to 90 minutes of focused, offline work. No phone, no email, no tabs. Your brain thrives in uninterrupted flow. Notification audit. Turn off all non-essential notifications. Email alerts, social media pings, and chat app vibrations are mental hijackers. Batch email and messaging. Check communications only 2 to 3 times daily. Treat digital interaction as a scheduled activity, not a constant demand. Evening digital shutdown. At least 1 hour before bed, disconnect from all screens. Use this time for reading, reflection, or sleep preparation. Weekend digital detox. Allocate several hours to entirely offline activity. Nature walks, physical exercise, hobbies, or creative projects. Discipline equals protection. Flaw equals cognitive erosion. Overcoming common excuses. I need my phone for work. Flaw. Discipline is structured batch checking and scheduling essential communication only during designated blocks. I'm addicted to social media. Flaw. Discipline is conscious limits, app timers, or temporary deactivation to regain control. I can't survive without notifications. Flaw. Discipline is reconditioning your brain to seek focus rather than fragmented dopamine hits. Your brain is a limited resource. Multitasking digitally fragments it. Discipline consolidates it. Every minute of intentional digital control compounds into sharper focus, better decision-making, and enhanced mental resilience. Final challenge for this chapter. Today, implement a digital diet. Schedule at least one uninterrupted 90-minute block of offline work. Turn off notifications, batch check emails, and consciously engage in a non-digital activity afterward. Track your focus, clarity, and energy levels. Repeat tomorrow. Over time, this practice strengthens your attention, boosts creativity, and restores cognitive power. Excess screen time is not harmless. It erodes your focus, creativity, and memory. Digital discipline restores attention, reduces cognitive overload, and protects neurons. Your brain thrives when you reclaim it. Every hour offline is an investment in sharper thinking, stronger memory, and enhanced mental agility. Chapter 9. Mindset Matters. Your brain, your command. Your brain is not a passive organ. It is a command center, and the thoughts you feed it shape your neural pathways, your resilience, and your capacity to innovate. Yet, most people operate on autopilot, letting fear, doubt, and limiting beliefs dictate outcomes. Consistent approach to rewiring your brain for resilience, creativity, and problem-solving. Stanford psychologist Carol Dweck, in her seminal work Mindset, The New Psychology of Success, found that people with a growth mindset, those who believe abilities can be developed through effort, consistently outperform those with a fixed mindset. Mindset shapes your brain. Resilience under pressure. Your beliefs directly influence how your prefrontal cortex and amygdala respond to stress. A fixed mindset amplifies fear, triggers fight-or-flight responses, and releases cortisol, impairing memory and reasoning. A growth mindset, however, primes the brain to see challenges as opportunities. Neuroscientific studies, including work by Dr. Richard Davidson at the University of Wisconsin, show that optimistic, resilient individuals have stronger connectivity between the prefrontal cortex and limbic system. Flaw is reactive thinking. Discipline is proactive command, creativity, and problem-solving. When you adopt a growth mindset, your brain actively explores alternative solutions, makes new connections, and strengthens neural networks associated with innovation. According to research in Frontiers in Human Neuroscience, people who visualize challenges and mentally rehearse solutions show higher problem-solving efficiency. Techniques to command your brain. 1. Self-talk. The internal dialogue you maintain literally shapes neural pathways. Positive, directive self-talk strengthens prefrontal cortex activity and suppresses stress-induced amygdala overactivation. Instead of saying, "I can't do this," say, "I'm learning, I'm adapting, I will find a way." 2. Visualization. Mental rehearsal primes your brain for performance. Olympic athletes, including Michael Phelps, use visualization to strengthen neural circuits associated with movement, focus, and decision-making. Studies in Journal of Neurophysiology show that imagining a task activates the same neurons as physically performing it. 3. Reframing challenges. Every obstacle can be reframed as a learning opportunity. When faced with a setback, instead of seeing failure, ask, "What is this teaching me?" Or how can I adapt? Cognitive behavioral research indicates that reframing activates the prefrontal cortex and reduces stress-induced neural suppression. 4. Goal setting with growth in mind. Establish micro-goals that stretch but don't overwhelm. Breaking larger challenges into achievable steps creates repeated experiences of success, reinforcing neural circuits associated with motivation and reward. Neuroscientist Dr. Alvaro Pascual-Leone demonstrates that repeated, structured effort physically reshapes cortical maps. 5. Mindful reflection. Spend 10 to 15 minutes daily reviewing how your mindset influenced decisions and outcomes. Ask yourself, did I respond with discipline or react with flaw? Real-world examples. Elon Musk approaches challenges with a growth mindset, constantly iterating, failing, learning, and improving. Musk's resilience in the face of SpaceX failures demonstrates disciplined mental command over reactionary fear. Oprah Winfrey turned early life trauma into a learning engine, reframing adversity as fuel for personal growth and achievement. Her brain responded to repeated practice in reframing setbacks, building resilience, and emotional regulation. Athletes and musicians. Elite performers visualize success and reframe mistakes as feedback, reinforcing neural pathways for skill, focus, and adaptability. Daily practices to cultivate a growth mindset. Morning affirmation and visualization. Spend 5 to 10 minutes commanding your day, rehearsing potential challenges, and envisioning solutions. Flaw is passive waiting. Discipline is pre-activation of your neural circuits. Self-talk checkpoints. Throughout the day, monitor internal dialogue. Replace negative statements with growth-oriented alternatives. Discipline is conscious awareness. Flaw is letting subconscious beliefs dominate. Reframe one setback daily. When a problem arises, pause and extract a lesson. Ask, how does this opportunity expand my skill or knowledge? This rewires the brain for adaptive response. Micro-goals for skill development. Break tasks into small, achievable steps. Complete them intentionally, reinforcing neural reward circuits and adaptive thinking. Evening reflection. Journal successes, failures, and responses. Identify where you reacted with flaw and where you practiced discipline. Consolidate neural pathways for growth. Repeat. Daily reinforcement is key. Overcoming mindset barriers. I'm just not smart enough. Flaw. Discipline is reinforcing neuroplasticity. Effort, learning, and repetition expand cognitive capacity. Failure is proof I can't do it. Flaw. Discipline is reframing failure as feedback and opportunity for adaptation. I don't have time to reflect or visualize. Flaw. Discipline is 10 to 15 minutes per day to command your brain. Far more impactful than hours of distracted work. Your mind is not a victim. It is a command center. Discipline commands. Flaw reacts. Your thoughts literally sculpt your neurons. Your beliefs direct your focus. And your mindset determines the trajectory of your brain's performance. Final challenge for this chapter. Today, consciously practice a growth mindset in one area of your life. Choose a challenge. Visualize success. Reframe obstacles as learning opportunities, and monitor self-talk. Journal the process, noting where you reacted with flaw versus commanded with discipline. Repeat tomorrow. Over time, these micro-practices physically rewire your brain, enhancing resilience, creativity, and problem-solving. Every command you give your brain reinforces mastery. Every reaction without discipline reinforces limitation. A growth mindset is the single most powerful tool for commanding your brain. Discipline strengthens neural pathways, amplifies problem-solving, and fuels resilience. Flaw reinforces fear, rigidity, and limitation. Every thought you cultivate either builds your mental capacity or erodes it. Your brain is yours to command. Your mindset determines whether it thrives or merely survives. Chapter 10. Daily Brain Rituals for Lifelong Cognition. Your brain is not a machine that runs itself. It's an organ that thrives, or decays, based on the routines you enforce. The flaw is leaving your cognition to chance, letting habits, fatigue, and distraction dictate your mental sharpness. The discipline is designing and following daily rituals that optimize every facet of brain health: nutrition, exercise, sleep, focus, and continuous learning. These are not minor tweaks. They are the foundation for lifelong cognitive resilience. Harvard neuroscientists consistently emphasize that repeated, structured daily routines physically shape neural pathways. The prefrontal cortex, hippocampus, and amygdala are malleable. When you feed them with disciplined rituals, you enhance memory, focus, and emotional regulation. When you neglect them, the brain atrophies. Every action you take, or fail to take, compounds over time. Why daily rituals matter. Consistency compounds. Small, daily habits accumulate into massive cognitive gains. Research by B.J. Fogg, author of Tiny Habits, shows that 1% improvement every day compounds into a 37-fold improvement over a year. Your brain thrives on repetition. Chaos and inconsistency impair growth. Integration of multiple factors. Brain health is holistic. Sleep without movement, or exercise without nutrition, or learning without focus, is incomplete. Daily rituals align all inputs: energy, neurotransmitters, neurogenesis, and emotional balance. Neuroscience confirms that coordinated practices, like exercise plus mental challenge, synergistically improve neuroplasticity, prevention of cognitive decline. Studies in the journals of gerontology show that structured daily routines combining diet, exercise, sleep, and cognitive stimulation reduce age-related cognitive decline and dementia risk. Consistency is not optional. It's protective. Core components of a brain-boosting daily ritual. 1. Morning sunlight exposure. Natural light regulates circadian rhythms, boosting alertness and sleep quality. According to Harvard Medical School, 15 to 30 minutes of morning sunlight increases serotonin, stabilizes mood, and primes attention circuits. 2. Movement and exercise. A brief morning workout, walking, stretching, or resistance training, releases BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, supporting neuroplasticity and memory formation. Studies in Frontiers in Human Neuroscience confirm that aerobic and resistance exercises enhance hippocampal volume in adults. 3. Nutrition first thing. Breakfast sets neurotransmitter tone. Omega-3 fatty acids, antioxidants, and protein support synaptic function. Practical examples: a smoothie with spinach, blueberries, walnuts, and chia seeds. Neuroscientists stress that early nutrient intake improves cognition and stabilizes energy for focus-intensive work. 4. Journaling and reflection. Spend 10 minutes in the morning or evening writing intentions, gratitude, or problem-solving thoughts. Cognitive research shows that journaling strengthens memory consolidation, emotional regulation, and metacognitive awareness. 5. Deliberate cognitive practice. Schedule a session for challenging your brain, learning a language, solving complex problems, or creative thinking exercises. Psychologist Anders Ericsson's research on deliberate practice demonstrates that targeted, focused effort reshapes cortical maps and improves performance faster than passive consumption. 6. Focused work blocks. Use Pomodoro or deep work sessions to train sustained attention. Cognitive neuroscience confirms that uninterrupted work strengthens prefrontal cortex circuits, improving planning, decision-making, and attention span. 7. Social interaction. Even brief daily engagement, coaching, teaching, or meaningful conversation stimulates multiple cognitive pathways, including language processing, empathy, and executive function. Social isolation is linked to faster cognitive decline. Interaction is protective. 8. Evening wind down. Avoid screens at least an hour before bed. Engage in reading, meditation, or reflection. Quality sleep consolidates memory, clears neurotoxins, and primes the brain for the next day. Harvard sleep studies show that consistent sleep routines improve hippocampal performance and emotional regulation. Real-world examples. Tony Robbins starts each day with priming exercises combining movement, gratitude, visualization, and breath work, preparing his brain and body for high performance. Richard Branson incorporates early morning exercise, journaling, and strategic thinking into his routine, ensuring physical energy and cognitive clarity are aligned daily. Mediterranean centenarians. Daily routines combining physical activity, social engagement, and structured meal patterns are strongly linked to preserved cognitive function even in their 90s. Daily practices checklist. Morning sunlight, 15 to 30 minutes. Movement exercise, 20 to 30 minutes. Nutritious breakfast with brain-boosting foods. 10 minutes. Journaling, reflection, deliberate cognitive practice, learning, puzzles, or creative work. Focused work blocks with zero distractions, social interaction or meaningful conversation. Evening wind down without screens. Consistent sleep schedule, 7 to 9 hours. Repeat these rituals, and over time, they physically restructure your brain for agility, memory, focus, and resilience. Overcoming excuses. I don't have time. Flaw. Discipline is 90 to 120 minutes of structured activity split across the day. Cumulative effect compounds massively. I can't stick to routines. Flaw. Discipline is habit stacking, linking small actions to existing habits, making consistency automatic. I'm too tired or stressed. Today, create and implement one full brain ritual. Morning sunlight, movement, journaling, nutritious breakfast, or a deliberate learning session. Document it. Tomorrow, repeat. Add another component until your routine covers all 8 areas consistently. Track mental clarity, focus, and energy levels. Over weeks, these rituals compound, physically reshaping your brain, strengthening memory, and enhancing decision-making. Every ritual you reinforce builds cognitive mastery. Every missed ritual reinforces mental stagnation. Structure, repetition, and intentional action are the pathways to mental sharpness, resilience, and longevity. Every day you commit, every neuron strengthens, every synapse expands, and every habit compounds into extraordinary mental performance. You've learned the truth. Your brain is a living, adaptable system, and every choice you make strengthens or weakens it. Feed it wisely. Sleep like your mind depends on it, because it does. Move daily. Control stress. Protect your focus. Learn relentlessly. Connect deeply. Manage your digital habits. Adopt a growth mindset. Build rituals that last a lifetime. These are not optional. They are the foundation of your mental strength and longevity. Now here's the challenge. Starting today, implement one practice from each chapter. No excuses. Track your results. Strengthen your mind daily. Because the longer your brain thrives, the longer, sharper, and more powerful your life becomes. Your move. Start now.